So excuse me if I falter. Excuse me if I don't make sense. Excuse me if I get a panic attack right now. But I'll try my best.
We love you anyway!
That was a lovely introduction. Thank you so much for that. I have this habit of carrying chits in colleges, so... I became an actor because I had a problem. I was an introvert. You know, I'm the youngest in my family, and I was so pampered in my house that when I used to step out, I didn't know how to deal with people. So I gradually became this very shy introvert kid who could not talk. Well, I still cannot talk. And I have this stage fright. So what I do generally as an actor is I hide behind all these fascinating characters, and then I'm confident. But like right now, as I'm not acting, so there are problems that I'll screw it up. So excuse me if I falter. Excuse me if I don't make sense. Excuse me if I get a panic attack right now. But I'll try my best.
We love you anyway!
Alright, I would love to share my journey with you, my learnings, and in case you decide to drop out and join me in Bollywood, it will come very handy. So, I was thinking in the car, what do I talk about? What can I tell you that you already don't know? I'm assuming, and I think most probably, you guys are way much more smarter and better than what I was when I was your age. But after deep thinking, I zeroed down into two things that I can actually discuss about. These two things talk about chasing your dreams and actually living your dreams, which unfortunately nobody mentioned to me when I was starting out. And those two things are, can I write down? Can you see this board? I always wanted to do this in front of professors, so I just... So those two things are the biggest lie and the only truth about success that I was told about. Now the biggest lie was money plus recognition is equal to happiness, is equal to success. So let me begin by mentioning that I come from a very middle class family. And when I was growing up, money was a big differentiator in my life. Also, in the three generations of my family that I know of, that are documented, nobody knew what fame felt like. So basically, both money and recognition were missing when I started out. So I already started out as a failure. Let me be very precise. My family told me that I had to become an engineer. Medicals were booked for my sisters. So once I'm an engineer, then I can, try civil services examination, and then probably, that will be like opening the doors for all kind of happiness, and I'll be forever successful. I'll be forever happy. This is the conditioning that I experienced when I was growing up. All right, fair enough. Good deal. So I became very good in studies. Did fairly well in my 10th board exams. And then off I went to Delhi for my +2, got myself enrolled in a nice school, and Vidyamandir and Fiji and half a dozen of other coaching institutes. And I used to share my room with 3 other similar aspirants. What it meant was, every day after finishing my assignments, school assignments, and preparing for my engineering entrance exam, I had to wash my clothes and I had to cook food for myself. But I wasn't complaining. Well, it was worth it, because after all, I was, for the very first time in my life, I was so close to become successful for the first time in my life. So finally I slogged, I got selected for several engineering colleges, and I decided to take admission in Delhi Delhi College of Engineering, which is now known as DTU. Thank you. Were you my senior or junior? There was a celebration like this in my family too. I could finally stop for a while and breathe, I was telling myself that, you know what? Now you're made it. You should be happy because you're supposed to be happy. But it wasn't working that much. Something was missing. There was a void that I could feel. So I thought maybe something bigger was required. For some reason, incessantly, while the first 18, 19 years of my life, the future me was much happier, much successful than the present me. So I was like, all right, fine. So I was forcing myself. I promised, I started preparing for civil services examination, and I was forcing myself to slog, but I was bored. UPSC exams were still far away. In the meantime, I thought of doing theatre, and I thought to learn dance because to counter the shyness that I still have, and also because there were no girls in my engineering college for some reason. I felt cheated, man. We slog so much, you crack the entrance exam and you find that there are no girls. So somebody told me that there are very good-looking girls in dance schools. So I was like, fine, I'll go there. And once I started with performing arts, I knew one thing for sure. I knew that I quite liked it. And 3 years later, imagine me sitting in the campus and I'm thinking, all right, I'm really interested in performing arts. And all I want to do is to earn money and to be recognized. So if I become a movie star, I actually was very serious and I dropped out, oh my gosh, in the third year, when I was just 2 semesters away from getting the degree, engineering degree. Came to Mumbai, got heavily into theatre and also other skills that I thought were necessary to become an actor. And by the way, this time I stayed with 6 other guys in a single room kitchen, but this time I was prepared for it. This time there was one difference. I was driven. My self-respect was at stake. My ex-college mates, one of them is sitting right here in black shirt, they thought that I was that disaster that folks in engineering and B schools should never become. So I had to prove a point to everybody. I had to prove a point to my family. Most importantly, I had to prove a point to myself. And this was the time when I was also a background dancer. So I was dancing behind all the possible stars that you can think of, Shah Rukh Khan, Shahid Kapoor, everybody. And I was thinking to myself while I was performing, okay, it's just 3 steps away, there I have to get. And everything will be sorted. And I kept going like that. And 2 years later, guess what? I got myself my first big break. I was selected for a primetime show on a TV. Now hear me out, it was seriously a big break because I started earning. People started recognizing me. To be honest, I would deliberately go and roam in all these malls so that people could look at me, smile, ask for my photograph. And I was watching myself on TV for the first time. You have no idea how it feels for somebody like me to, I was looking at me and I was looking at myself every day on TV. It was a big, big, big high. I also suddenly discovered that I actually had many friends. I'm like, what? Absent all this while, but suddenly they popped up. And the show became popular. I was making good money to a point that money stopped being a differentiator in my life. And I was becoming more and more popular. Now I cannot go to all those malls that I was going all alone. So I wanted somebody to be with me, to save me. I bought myself my first dream house. I bought myself my dream car. And just a note to you as well. I was getting such female attention that my engineering college friends could only possibly dream of. So I was having a time of my life. And then something unusual happened. I got used to everything. And I felt cheated. I stayed with all these dreams for 10 and 15 years of my life. I was promised happiness and I was promised success. But all these things stayed with me just for a few days. And I'm punctuating me because I started from zero money and zero recognition. So I was not happy. How can that it be? I didn't like this version of success. And the future me again was luring the present me. But this time, I decided otherwise. I would do something else. So that gets us to the second point, which is the only truth. I won't take too much time. I'll just try to keep it short. I figured that something seemingly big things were not that big once I got them. And looking back in the past, I realized that maybe smaller things were way bigger. And there was one thing that was missing in my life that was the cause of this illusion. And that thing that was missing was now. I was, all these years, I was obsessed about what's gonna happen. I used to draw those flowcharts that we are taught in schools. That if this happens, I'll do that, and 6 months from now, I'll be here. So I wanted to be in control. I was so obsessed about my future. I was taking the entire responsibility about the past. But all I was doing was frequently swinging from past to future, not living in actual sense. Well, I also figured that when I perform on stage or in front of camera, I'm so much excited. I am so much interested. I was paying so much attention that there was no room to think about future or the past. I was just there in the moment. I was alive in true sense when I was performing. And for the first time, trust me, in a long time, I understood the true meaning of success, which was not money plus recognition, but it was now plus excitement. This realization happened in 2011, and it has been 5 years. Now let me share another very short story with you. When I was in school, 4 to 5:30 p.m. was the time when I was allowed to go out and play. I was asked to be an engineer, but the entire day I used to wait for 4 p.m. to happen. I would step out, and the next 1.5 hours felt like 5 minutes. I didn't understand this then, but now very honestly, very confidently, I can tell you this, that I'm living that 4 to 5:30 life right now since last 5 years. Cause and effects are not different. Excitement is the cause, excitement is the effect. I get tired again and again because all these success mantras that we talk about, hard work, belief, focus, vision, risk-taking, talent, perseverance, we can go on and on. But all these success mantras are now the side effects of the process itself. I'm so engaged, it commands my attention so much that there is nothing else that I can think about. So hard work doesn't feels like hard work, and there's nothing else that you can do but to persist. Talent you will cultivate, vision you will get, focus there is no other way because it's commanding your attention so much. So here I am right now, 5 years down the line. Money and fame, although still could not earn back their reputation in my life. But let me show you one thing. I have much more of them than I had ever planned. And the best thing, my college, one of the professors who is very dear to me called me recently about asking me to plan this interaction with students. And I very humbly requested that can I get my degree back? and it's happening, and I'm very excited again. Thank you so much, guys.